M&M's chocolate candies have two possible origins. Some sources say that M&Ms were invented in the 1930s based on a suggestion by soldiers fighting in the Spanish Civil War. The soldiers protected chocolate candy from melting in the pockets and packs by covering the candy with a sugary coating. The M&Mf Mars company adapted this coating to create its most popular product. M&M Mars, the company that currently manufactures M&Ms, first manufactured the candies in 1940. Forrest Mars Sr., who formed M&M Limited in Newark, New Jersey, wanted to sell chocolates that could be sold year-round, especially during the summer months when sales traditionally decreased. Since air conditioning was not available, retailers did not have the means to keep chocolate from melting and consumers did not buy it. By putting his chocolate inside the candy shell, the chocolate did not melt and M&Ms 3 could be sold anytime. They could be eaten neatly in almost any climate. In fact, they were made part of service rations during World War II. At the heart of every M&M candy is its chocolate, and chocolate has a long history. The cocoa tree is a native plant of South America's river valleys. It was brought north to Mexico by the 7th century AD. The Mayans and Aztecs made a drink from the beans of the cocoa tree. The upper classes drank this concoction, called cacahuatl, which was a blend of the cocoa beans, red pepper, vanilla, and water. In 1528, the drink was brought back to Europe by Spanish explorers returning from the New World. They found the drink, as drunk by the natives, bitter and unpalatable, and they blended the cocoa beans with other ingredients including sugar, cinnamon cloves, anise, almonds, hazelnuts, vanilla, orange flower water, and musk. They ground the new concoction and heated it to create a paste. The paste was smoothed onto the leaves of a plantain tree and allowed to harden. The slab of chocolate was then removed. To make chocolatl, the ancestor of our hot chocolate, the Spanish dissolved a bit of the chocolate slab in hot water and thin corn broth. It was stirred to distribute the fats from the chocolate paste more evenly. By the mid-17th century, chocolatl had replaced cacahuatl in its original areas for all except the lower classes of Mexico. The Spanish were also the first to consume chocolate in its solid form, though it was nothing like the center of M&M. After conquering the unfounded and widespread fear that the consumption of chocolate would lead to bowel obstructions, Europeans were able to enjoy the treat, and cookbooks including chocolate candy recipes sprang up. As made in the mid-1700s, the chocolate candy was a combination of the chocolate paste described above and sugar held together by plant gums. The candy had a coarse, crumbly texture that did not hold the sugar well, and it was not popular. It was not until 1828 that a method was developed to produce the solid chocolate that we know today. A Dutch chocolate maker, Conrad van Houten, invented a screw press that squeezed most of the butter out of cocoa beans. This process separated cocoa powder from cocoa butter. The powder was more useful on its own, providing a better base for hot chocolate. When cocoa butter was blended with regular ground cocoa beans, the resulting paste was smoother and easier to blend with sugar. Within 20 years, an English company introduced the first commercially successful prepared hard chocolate. In 1876, Swiss candy maker Daniel Peter used dried milk to make solid milk chocolate. In 1913, another Swiss candy maker, Jules Secco, developed a technique for making chocolate shells filled with other confections. Chocolate was indeed publicly popular by this time, though still expensive. Hershey Foods marketed one of the first chocolate bars that was both widely affordable and available. Milton Hershey, the company's founder, became fascinated by a chocolate statue displayed at the 1893 World's Exposition in Chicago, Illinois. When he decided to manufacture chocolate, he used fresh milk and mass production techniques. The latter ensured he could sell large quantities of individually wrapped chocolate at inexpensive prices. Hershey began to manufacture chocolate bars in 1904. In 1940, Forrest Mars Sr., and an associate whose name has been lost to history, started to manufacture M&Ms. The M in M&Ms comes from the first initial of the last names of Mars and his associate. Peanut-scented M&Ms were first introduced in 1954, almond-scented M&Ms, 1988, mint chocolate M&Ms, 1989, peanut butter chocolate peanut butter creme center surrounded by chocolate surrounded by a candy shell. M&Ms at 1990. The M&M Mars company claims that combined sales of all the M&M varieties makes it the best-selling snack brand in the United States. In 1976, red-colored M&Ms were discontinued due to a health concern associated with a certain red food coloring. This controversial coloring was not used in the M&Ms, but the company did not want to confuse the consumer. Red reappeared in M&Ms in 1987. In response to a consumer survey, blue M&Ms replaced tan M&Ms in 1995. Raw materials. M&Ms have two main components, hardened liquid chocolate and the hard candy shell. Liquid chocolate comes from a blend of whole milk, cocoa butter, sugar, and chocolate liquor, among other ingredients. The chocolate liquor is a thick syrup that is made from the grinding of cocoa beans. Roasted cocoa nibs are the meat of the bean, undergo the process of broyage, in which they are crushed by a grinder made of revolving granite blocks. Chocolate liquor is actually composed of small particles of roasted nibs suspended in oil. The candy shell is made from a blend of sugar and corn syrup.